Welcome to discovering peace of mind through hobbies and fly fishing. So, I think we all know hobbies are significantly improve your mental health and overall well-being, and various types of hobbies. Some people love music, some people love walking, some people love flying. But we're going to talk about something I think all of you, including myself, not to the same degree I'm sure, is going to be fly fishing. So I'm going to ask you a question. It's going to be the first one. As we begin today's conversation, I want you each to share a bit of information about yourself and what you do here at Phoenix Contact. If you say fly fishing, that's going to be a problem.
I guess I'll go ahead and start. My name is obviously Michael, and I started here as an intern back in 2018, and now I do the procurement of all of our embroidery and things that have our name on apparel or giveaway items, as well as literature and trade sort of things. So anything that really has Phoenix Contact on it, I usually have some sort of touch on it.
All right, my name's Justin. I've been here at Phoenix since 2015. I'm a senior quality specialist in industrial electronics. So I help everybody on the production floor, our development engineering teams to purchasing teams with any quality issues we may have, and just continuous improvement and stuff like that.
And I'm Jim. I'm the product marketing manager for PCC. I've been with Phoenix since 2013, be coming up on 10 years now.
Nice. And just so you know, my name's Jeff Watford. I actually work in our HR department, and I manage our employee relations. All right. So gentlemen, I think this is a question a lot of people wonder about. What is fly fishing, and how's it different from regular fishing?
Let's take that one.
All right, I'll take it because I'm not the best at it. I mean, no, I'm all right. So fly fishing is honestly, it's in the name. It's the fly. It's the way the fly lands on the end of your line compared to conventional casting or spinning gear, where you're actually using the transfer of weight from the lure itself to the water. Whereas in fly fishing, it's the rope is that energy. So as you cast and you go to present the fly to the water, it's got to look as natural as possible. And that's really the biggest difference. It's just the mechanics of how you cast and then how you also will then catch the fish. Reeling is the same for the most part, pretty standard, but that's the biggest difference between the two.
Okay.
I can't add too much more to that. As Justin pointed out, you're actually using the weight of the line to deliver the fly to the water rather than the weight of the lure. So in conventional fishing, there's really no weight to the line. In fly fishing, you're using the weight of the line to deliver the fly to the water. And you're also looking at artificial materials or natural materials like feathers or whatever, and typically smaller. And you're not using live bait or power bait or anything like that.
Yeah, I guess to keep on a finer note of that, I guess quintessentially you think of trout fishing, and when you think of trout fishing, usually it is those smaller flies. It's things that are landing on top of the water, and a fish is actually coming up and eating that because that's its natural food source. So I guess whenever you ask what is fly fishing, I guess it's also half of it to me personally is reading what's going on within the environment, so you know. If this particular fly is coming off the water, you know it's going to come back down and a fish is going to eat that. So to me personally, it's knowing what fly is happening or hatching and happening at the moment that you're there on the river. So I think, just to really build off that. But, then again, fly fishing isn't just trout fishing. So that expands beyond just a fly. It can go from mimicking a minnow or a crayfish or
Any kind of bait fish.
Any type of bait fish, yeah. Sure. So.
All right. Thanks, guys. All right, so next one. How'd you get started fly fishing?
I guess I'll start because I'm actually the newest one here out of all of us. I started in 2020. Now, I'd always been a fisherman. I'd been a spin fisherman, but my buddy had begged me enough to get a fly rod, and then I took some COVID money and purchased my first one, and then I think the next day I caught a fish, and I've been hooked ever since. So it hit the learning curve pretty hard, and I've took that and ran with it as fast as I possibly could have. So I just got it because I was bored. I needed a hobby. I needed something to get myself out of the house, and it was already something I'd done before, so everything just made sense to me.
So after getting out of the house the one time, you continued getting out of the house.
I never came back.
Yeah, that's how it starts. It's always a friend.
Yeah.
Who's like, I always call my friends that they were elitists because they were fly fishing. They always thought they were better than everybody. So I was like, these guys can't be better than me. But in all honesty, one of my friends gave me a fly rod one day. We were up in the mountains of PA, like Lycoming County, Pine Creek area. And he said, here, just cast. It's much different, it's harder, and you're not going to catch a fish right away. Second cast, I caught a fish right away. And then that was it. The fight is so much different. Like Mike was talking about spin fishing, you got a little more gear to help you out. The drag's a little better. That's what helps you, like from the fish pulling the line out.
Right.
Fly fishing was tough, and from then on I was sucked in.
Yeah, it's totally different. I got started pretty much like Michael. I fished my entire life, messed around with fly rods, and about 8 years ago, just took it seriously, and I haven't looked back. I mean, it's fantastic. And like Justin said, a fish on the end of a fly rod is totally different than on a bait rod. It's a totally different feel, and it just gets the adrenaline going. It's really amazing stuff.
So truth be told, like I've started, and I can tell you one of you guys sort of initially, and it wasn't you turning me onto it. Jim, I was talking to you one time about fly fishing, and ended up getting a fly rod.
Yeah.
So I'm not on your level by any means. And, Mike was helping me out a little bit.
Yeah.
So this year,
Gotta get out.
I might tag along
Get out.
somewhere with someone.
please do.
I'm just saying. All right. Have you been able to discover peace of mind through fly fishing?
Ooh, well, I guess I'll start this one off too, because mine, I think, goes a little bit beyond the actual aspect of fishing, because I also fly tie. So I'm actually involved in creating what I'm throwing on top of the water. So when I think of peace of mind in this hobby, I can fly tie at any point in my life as long as I have the materials I have in my house. If it's raining, I can always fly tie. So like, if it's snowing, or if it's the winter time, I can always have that. So for me, it's more of tying a fly, making it look nice, but then taking it out into the environment and then using it and then catching a fish with it. So my more peace of mind is in the actual aspect of creating a fly that I'm going to use, and then taking it out, and that is my accomplishment, is when I catch a fish with the fly tied. So for me personally, it's being able to hyper focus into creating what I'm going to use, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, the hyper focus is a great word. There's so much noise in our lives, whether we realize it or not. I mean, it's just computers, cell phones, people yapping, radios on, whatever. And just to get out in the middle of a stream and just listen to the silence, it's there. If you listen for it, it's fantastic. It's wonderful. It just clears your mind. You're focusing on one thing and one thing only, and it's great for the brain. It really is.
I agree. There's always the art itself of casting, and if you don't catch a lot, me, it's you're always
Justin
casting.
Jones.
Yeah, hey, that's me. Jay Jones, find me on the stream. Just cast it away. Everybody else.
Practicing.
Yeah, practicing. So, but that's the word. It's the practice. There's something fluid about the perfect cast, getting everything in order to where you're actually presenting a fly or even something submersive under the water where the fish will actually bite. And then just that motion alone, you're constantly focused on, okay, how was my back cast? Did I come forward too slow?
Right.
Did I not punch my wrist? And you're not thinking about the day-to-day stuff, the things that are piling up at work, your chores at home, things like that. You're just
Right.
able to just break free for a little bit. And, a little bit subjective, because I say I'm going out to the stream, I'll be out there predictably for 4 hours. That's what I tell everybody. I come back 10 hours later, there's questions, but that's part of it. That's the piece.
I'm
You
in
forget
trouble.
everything.
All right, thanks guys. All right, so hobbies are often thought of as activities people who lead quiet, relaxed lives, but people with full, busy, even stressful lives may need hobbies more than the average person. I think we all know hobbies bring many benefits that usually make them more than worth the time that they require. So, how do you find time in your schedule to relax and focus on a hobby like fly fishing?
Well, Jeff, you're never going to find the time, right? Nobody's ever going to find the
So
time. You
true.
just make the time for it, right?
So
So
true.
if you want to clear your head, you're gonna make the time to do what you want to do. And if for the three of us, it's fly fishing, so we make the time for it. That's all there is to it. You turn the computer off, you turn the phone off, you turn everything off, and you just go focus on fly fishing. You just make the time and do it.
Yeah, it's perfectly said. There's never enough time for any hobby, but there's always time for you to make that time available to yourself. And that's kind of the benefit of hobbies in general, right? It's going to take time away from something else, but you're going to get more out of it. You may be a little bit behind. You may be a little bit behind at home because you decided to go out on a Saturday and fly fish, but at the end of the day, you come back way more relaxed. And just to dig into the backlog is not as much of a task as it would be if you were just constantly focusing and not taking time to yourself.
All right.
Yeah, and even aside from work, you still have to spend time with family and friends and whatnot. And I've personally just hammered all of this home to, anyone that will listen. So I try to surround myself with friends and family that would fly fish with me.
They're just like me and want to do what I want to do.
Right. So, but yeah, I agree with what both of them said. And there really isn't, anything that can really stop you other than you wanting to go out and making time for yourselves. Yeah.
All right. How does fly fishing improve your stress, mental health, and overall well-being?
That's a very good question, but there's a lot of answers in it. So a lot of people, especially nowadays, struggle with a lot of different things, and anxiety being number one, right, for a lot of folks. And personally, I've dealt with anxiety my entire life. I've been able to really focus on mindfulness, kind of drawing off of what Jim said earlier, the peace in the environment. Some people may find it hard to meditate because it involves clearing your mind. It's a great practice, but it's difficult. A lot of us have to focus on tasks because our brains are constantly running. And being able to focus on a singular task like fly fishing or the casting or looking for what's hatching on the water or tuning into the sounds around us is super beneficial. So I think fly fishing has become my gateway to mindfulness. Also managing, day-to-day stress and anxiety. But it's just been that perfect avenue of relaxation. It's such a great hobby if you're really focused on trying to calm down whatever's driving you nuts on the inside. It's
Right.
so good at that.
And,
awesome.
and it's a whole process, and it starts before you're even on the water. You get the maps out, you're getting excited about where you're going, what's hatching, so you get all of that together, and you get out there, and like Justin said, it's just you focus, you get in a zone, and that's all there is to it. And you fish a stream, you go fish another one the next week, and another one, and while I'm at it, Jeff, this is a great question. I was thinking about this one that it's not just well-being for us. I want to point out 3 groups that actually try to help others through fly fishing. There's one called Casting for a Cure, and these guys raise money for families struggling with Rett syndrome, which is a neurological disease that usually affects baby girls. So they do a lot of fundraising for that. There's Casting for Recovery, so people that try to enrich the lives of women with breast cancer, to get them out on the water fly fishing so they have a chance to focus on something else.
Okay.
And there's a group called Project Healing Waters for our veterans, in-need veterans, and they assign them a mentor and they get them out on the water. So it gives them a chance to have something else to focus on. So three great groups that totally dedicated to fly fishing, but totally dedicated to helping the needs of others. So it's great organizations.
It's great information too. I said not on anyone's level here, but I would have had no idea.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, I guess to build off of Jim's a little bit, I could say that I really do long for the adventure of finding new water and trying new things out and experiencing environments that I'm not necessarily comfortable with. But I think the other thing that I might do differently than you guys is I pretty much record everything I do. So when I record everything I do, if I'm in a state where I know when I'm looking at my own videos, I'm gonna start getting giddy and I'm gonna start laughing. So
Face.
so I know I can always resort back to that if I need to get out of any state of mind that I may be facing at that point. So it's another aspect and avenue for me to just exploit everything about this thing that I can. So that's for me in particular.
Okay. But I love it.
Yeah.
It's like you see Michael watching his own video, laughing himself, laughing while he's fishing because he's so happy doing it.
Right.
Yeah. What's the video plug though? Where do we subscribe?
Oh,
Come on, you gotta
to come.
All right, okay.
Sharing everything.
Thanks, guys. All right. So, mental health can be impacted by many different things, from life-changing events to everyday tasks. And while there are many strategies we can actively engage in to improve our mental health, an often overlooked factor is spending time on an activity that you enjoy otherwise, known as a hobby. So, what are some tips you can give that you can share with the audience for those who want to start fly fishing? Because listening to you guys, and again, doing a little bit, I know there are other people in this audience that want to know more, like how they can get this going. So,
Well, let me start with this one. First of all, take it slow, all right? Justin and Michael have both made some great points along the way here. Number one, I would find somebody that fly fishes, talk to them. Go out on the water with them before you invest a bunch of money and equipment. And again, take it slow. Justin hit the nail on the head there with the casting. There's a high abandon rate for people that start fly fishing. They go out to buy a fly rod, they go out there and they're doing all this stuff and they can't catch anything and the lines tangle and they throw it out. You need to have some patience and get somebody to teach you how to cast, what the fly rod needs to be doing, understand the mechanics of it, and then go to a pond, go to a lake or go somewhere, catch some panfish, get used to the feel of the line hitting the water and pulling the line off the water, catching a fish and everything before you get into moving water, which is a whole different thing, and as opposed to the ocean where the water's out moving back and forth instead of just one direction. So start slow. Just go out with somebody, ask a lot of questions. There's not one person that fly fishes that I know that wouldn't help somebody out. They will definitely help you out, and for people that think it's just trout fishing in Colorado and that's the only place you can fly fish, we were talking about this earlier, there's 86,000 miles of fishable water in Pennsylvania. That doesn't include ponds, lakes, all that, just streams and rivers. There's 15,000 miles of dedicated wild trout stream in Pennsylvania. We live in probably the best state possible to fly fish, in the lower 48. Okay?
Yeah.
People, yes, they want to go fish Patagonia, they want to go fish Colorado. That's great, but you have it all in your backyard right here. I mean, draw a line around your house, and you're going to find a stream somewhere. So.
Yeah. I guess to build off that, you can catch fish in streams that are 6 feet wide. I mean, 4 feet wide. I have video of me catching and stuff that you'd be like, you could walk over it, literally step over it, but there's still fish in there. You could also fish the biggest rivers. So, I mean, you have a lot of accessibility here in PA for sure. Yeah. Definitely agree with that.
Yeah. One other point is, Jim said something really that hit home for me. That's don't break the bank. So a lot of times you want to walk into a fishing shop or Bass Pro, and you're looking at all the prices of everything, and you're like, man, just to get a rod, a reel, I want a vest, you know, a hat, fishing with grizzly, by the way.
Waders.
Yeah, stuff like that. You can end up spending a lot of money. If I had to make a suggestion, just like Jim said, find a friend who's going to give you an older rod or reel, or go to a flea market, garage sale. Just get something basic, and then once you can cast that hand-me-down rod, now you can start to invest in something else. But don't break the bank right away. A lot of people get deterred because they're just like, oh my goodness, I didn't think it was going to cost me $300 to go, you know, out on opening day. You know, where can I get my power bait and, you know, a couple other things. Take it easy. Take it slow and find some cheaper alternatives. You don't have to be, you know, the most elite out in the stream. And like Jim said, you'll find somebody, you draw a circle around your house or run into somebody who's fishing. It always seems like the fishing community's selling something, you know what I mean? Everybody's got a rod or reel that they want to sell. So one point to make is keep it cheap when you start out.
Yeah, and I definitely kept it cheap when I first got my first rod. I had the cheapest stuff, and again, 2 points Jim made that I really agree with is one, I think that we'd all, you know, we'd all be able to like give off anything that we didn't have. I mean, the first day I figured out you fly fished, I gave you.
Michael came walking down with a little plastic cup of flies, and it's like someone just gave me $1 million. It was just so cool. Number one, he made them. So I'm like, this is awesome. Number two, okay, I've got these. Now what do I do with them? And one of the things he said, and it's something each of you has said, anytime you had a question, if you have a question, ask me. And
Always open.
Yeah, it is an open community. So
and if you want to take it a step further, I'd say find the oldest guy on the river and ask him all the questions you could possibly want, because he'll probably have the answer to
Exactly. And he'll probably give you some flies.
And he'll probably give you some flies.
You know, another point I want to make, Jeff, too, is that fly fishing is not just a guy sport. A lot of people think this is just a guy thing. Women are excellent fly casters. Some of the best casters in the world are women. Some of the best fly tyers are women. So, you know, like to see more ladies out on the water too. So,
like I said,
it's open to everybody.
Yeah, it's open community for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you can help someone, you will. And I want to ask a question. So, see if this was silly. Jimmy said, go out to the river and practice. I actually, when I got my rod put together, went out in the yard.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I just started practicing.
Yes.
In the yard.
Yeah, best place to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And they sell.
Couldn't
They
get caught
sell.
on anything.
Oh yeah. I mean, go out in your yard. It's different when you're pulling the line off the water, but they actually sell shorter rods that you can work on your casting with. You know, you can actually cast in your house. I know because I tried it and caught something, and I don't want to tell that whole story, but you can
Off camera.
Yeah, you can work on it anywhere really. You can easily work on fly casting here.
Yeah, for sure. No
All
doubt.
right. So, are there local clubs or resources that you can provide to the audience to get them started with fly fishing?
Yeah, Trout Unlimited. The best one to get started with at first. They're all over the place. If you're looking for the outdoors, nature-y side of things, they do stream restoration, so you can help fix and build streams in the local area. But there's Trout Unlimited chapters all over PA, especially.
Okay.
Real easy to sign up. You can sign up online. You get their mailers, and then you can meet up with them.
You can go to their club meetings, and it's not expensive. That's not going to break the bank. Their annual fee is like $35 or something.
Yeah.
And they do really great work. They work with schools. They get kids out. They get people involved. Another one's Fly Fishing International. They have a great website, great magazine. Local fly shops, and we're fortunate. We got 3 great ones around here. There's Precision down in Lancaster. There's Creekside over in Leola, and there's TCO up in Boiling Springs. Hang out at fly shops.
Yeah,
they're a great resource for information.
Yeah, they'll tell you everything that you need to know, and they want you to get into the sport just as much as you probably want to yourself. So just be prepared to spend something there so that you give a little.
It's also a business.
It's
It's a
true.
business, but you know, I mean, flies are. It's not like you're spending $100 on flies.
Right.
You spend a couple bucks on flies, and they'll help you out with fly selection. They'll tell you what's hitting the water right now. So it's it's a good way to learn.
Like I said, it's the community again.
Yes.
So I mean, this one of the things I did personally. I'd spend lunch. I'd go down and get lunch, come back up, and usually I'd find videos. So my lunch would just be spent watching videos of different techniques, different locations. you know, the different flies, what they're used for. I didn't even look at how to tie. I just want to know what they're used for. Is that something that you recommend?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Orvis,
That's
and I
what I
gave
used
some
to do.
links to Matt, so hopefully he can put them in the video. But Orvis has a thing right on their website called How to Fly Fish.
Yep.
It's a series of videos that,
Yep.
that walks you through things. Two guys I can recommend: Pete Kutzer from Orvis, his casting's amazing, and Simon Gosworth from Real Products.
Okay.
If you look at any of their videos, they walk you through how to cast, how to read water, all sorts of
Yeah, it was-
really good information.
The Orvis site is one I was on a lot.
Orvis and the new FlyFisher is also another one that Tom Rosenbauer also features in.
Yeah, he's a
And,
classic.
and any video with Tom in it, you're gonna learn something. I totally forgot about it. That's pretty much how I learned everything I did
That's-
was YouTube. I mean, that's
Yeah, I mean-
very basics. I mean, it's
Go
very
online and find a lot of stuff. So I'd like to thank each one of you, both for, you know, our fireside chat and personally, because just watching you, talking to you, listening to you, for me it's inspiring, and I'm sure there are people out there that have never really wanted to ask about fly fishing but have had interest in it, because I think there's a little bit of fear if you're not familiar with it.
Yeah,
And you guys have just expressed how simple and enjoyable. So I just want to thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It was fun.
So this has been our fireside chat, and we'll talk to you soon.